Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your May 2018 mid-month general readings. We're looking at the last couple of weeks of May here. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and welcome to any newcomers, and always thank you for those of you who continue to like, share, subscribe, and send in all your support, feedback, and comments. You guys are wonderful. Keep it up. And always as well, a special thank you to all of my clients out there, both regular and new, for keeping me so busy with personal one-on-one readings. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on that little About button, or you can click on the description bar of all the videos I post for more information and my contact details. You can email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week, so turnaround time's pretty fast, usually anywhere from a few days upwards of a couple of weeks. But almost always within a couple of weeks we can set up a reading for you live or recorded. And I can usually get back to you within the first day or the first 24 hours of your initial contact. So if you're interested, send me an email. We'll go from there. For really fast answers to quick, easy questions, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that's also with my contact details. All right, let's move right into this. This reading is for the water sign of Cancer for the remainder of May 2018, so we're looking at the last couple of weeks. So only half the cards from the readings at the beginning of the month. If you know your rising and moon sign, watch those videos as well, because they can provide additional insight. And they may play out a little more predictively for you at some times than others, because these are general readings which can be kind of tricky. You're reading for a lot of people who have different things going on in your lives, so they're always going to resonate a bit differently for everybody watching. All right, Cancer, let's see what the remainder of May 2018 has in store for you. We begin with the Five of Swords. Whoops, sorry, that came out first. The Nine of Cups with the Five of Swords, and the Ten of Swords with the Eight of Cups. From the bottom of the deck, your crowning card representing your overall energy and focus and guidance for the remainder of May 2018 is the Ace of Wands. Well, you have Two Swords, Two Cups, One Wand. You have no Pentacles energy, no Earth energy. So for a lot of you watching, Pentacles can often represent things in your material life or your job, work, career, finance, property, resources life, because it's tangible Earth energy. So for a lot of you, this may not be about that area of your life too much. Of course, again, it's a general reading. The details and specifics are always going to vary, but the energy fundamentally remains the same. Some of you, this might be in regards to job, work, and career, but I think for a lot of you, it's something else or something in addition, because it's more emotional and thought energy. So your overall energy and focus and guidance for the remainder of May is the Ace of Wands, new beginning, action-oriented, fiery, passionate, creative, new beginnings here. Aces represent the number one, so they always represent the start of something new, a new beginning which holds a lot of potential and promise. Aces are like seeds. You can plant them and nourish them and take care of them so that eventually they can manifest to their full potential and end up giving back to you. They can also fizzle out if they're started but not followed through on, or never started. So it's about a new beginning, an opportunity for a new beginning which has a lot of potential and promise. It's Wands energy, fire energy. This is the energy of building, moving, creating. It's forward moving. It's fast moving often. Passionate, fiery, energetic energy, artistic, creative endeavors. Sometimes Wands can represent career as well, because it's all about building and manifesting things that continue on into the future, or exciting, passionate energy. So it's a very enthusiastic, exciting new beginning. That's the general energy and focus or guidance for a lot of you for the remainder of May 2018. So if you're not experiencing an opportunity for a new beginning, it's definitely the direction you need to move in. I think for a lot of you, you're either have reached a place of abundance, or you're working towards reaching a place for abundance, and you've put in a lot of work, or are putting in a lot of work in order to achieve that, because we have the Nine of Cups and the Five of Swords. The Nine of Cups is water energy. So in the tarot, Water energy is usually the energy of emotions, feelings. It's also the area of our life that can include relationships, all different kinds of relationships, because it's that watery, mercurial, emotional energy. The Nine of Cups is often called the wish fulfillment card, the winning the lottery card. It speaks of getting what you want. Of course, the cautionary advice to getting what you want, Cancer, is usually, be careful of what you wish for, because you may get it and then find out it's not everything it's cracked up to be. So there's always that bit of cautionary advice. But the Nine of Cups is about having an overflowing, not just having enough, but having more than enough. You have this sense of your cups overflowing, of abundance, and you just want to share, spill it out with everybody else, because that's what this man is doing. He has more than enough to eat, more than enough to drink. He's very happy. He has all these cups filled and ready to share with friends and family, because he's sharing in his sense of abundance, and he has more than enough to do that. So a card of getting what you want, a wish fulfillment card. Now, it's clarified by the Five of Swords, which is a card. Swords is air energy, and in the tarot, this is the energy of what goes on up in here. It's mental energy, cerebral, intellectual energy. So it's about our ideas, how we think about things, our outlooks, our perspectives, our belief systems, because that affects the way that we see and relate and communicate our words and our ideas to the world and to people in the world. Truth, insight, enlightenment, learning, education, higher education, all about what goes on up in here. The Five of Swords is technically a card of victory, and I always say technically because sometimes it represents a victory that's come at a pretty high cost, or that it's cost a lot to come out on top or come out ahead. And the accompanying question to the Five of Swords is almost always, is it worth it, or has it been worth it? And sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes this can represent a victory or a challenge that we have succeeded in or won, but it may come at the cost of relationships or having to leave certain people behind, which is sometimes what these people on the ground behind him can represent. Relationships that we've lost from winning, or relationships that we had to leave behind, things we had to leave behind in order to move ahead. Sometimes that's, again, it's a positive, and sometimes it's not such a positive. Sometimes in career, this card can come up when someone is so ambitious to come out on top, to be the victor, to be at the top, that they may step on or hurt people in the process of getting up there just so that they can come out on top. And again, sometimes it represents a victory that you had to fight, and a cost which was quite high, but that you were willing to pay. And it may have been, the sense of abundance might be, something that you've worked very hard to achieve, and it may mean that you've had to make sacrifices along the way. And some of those sacrifices may have been relationships, people, or situations that had to be left behind in order for you to do this. Because even though this man has won, it's been a tough battle. It's cost a lot. He's tired, worn out, exhausted, bleeding from a little cut on his forehead. This was not an easy fight. This was not an easy challenge. Getting to this sense of abundance really was a lot of hard work, and it could have involved a lot of pain and sacrifice along the way. So some of you may be in this place. Some of you may still be on the process of, you're working towards this sense of abundance, joy, and fulfillment, particularly those of you who are working towards it in a material sense. And you may have had to make quite a lot of sacrifices along the way. And you're walking away from this new beginning. It may be something that came at a high cost. And part of that may have been people, relationships. Maybe somebody betrayed you, or there was this sense of betrayal too. But you are also, particularly towards the end of the month, leaving that behind, because at or towards the end of the month we have the, my fingers just won't hold on to the cards today. We have the Ten of Swords, clarified by the Eight of Cups. So the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is a card. It's sometimes called the stabbed in the back card, and different tarot decks have different depictions of it, but it does represent a sense of betrayal. It could be somebody betraying you, or maybe you betrayed somebody yourself, Cancer. But it does represent that it's the worst is over, that it's at an end, because in the tarot, tens represent the cycle's ending. There's something that's coming to an end, it's closing, it's releasing, and sometimes it represents a situation that's come to a culmination point and it's transitioning into something different. But it does usually represent something coming to an end. So whatever this betrayal was, this unexpected, rather traumatic, probably painful thing that happened to this man that put him face down on the ground, whether it was betrayal of a friend or a partner or a spouse or something, it's at an end. You can see that there's a golden light shining down through the swords. It's time for the healing to begin. It's time to get up and brush yourself off and start moving on into this new beginning. You can see that the sun is rising in the background, a new day is dawning, and the animals are beginning to return to the scene. So it looks like it may have been very traumatic or painful or very, very challenging, but it's at an end. The worst is behind you. It's time for that new beginning. Now the Ten of Swords is, but it is traditionally, always referred to as the betrayal card or the stab in the back card. So something that happened along this way, perhaps one of the sacrifices you had to make, or one of the things that happened on the way to this abundance was, maybe you hurt somebody quite badly, or maybe somebody else hurt you quite badly. But again, there's a sense of beginning to leave that behind, or definitely needing to leave that behind, so you can have this sense of abundance, because the Ten of Swords is clarified by the Eight of Cups, which is a card of, look at it, leaving behind whatever these cups represent. You can see some of them are upright and full, and some of them are tipped over and empty. The implication being that he has tasted and drunk from most, if not all, of these cups. And while he may have thought they were one thing and they turned out to be something different, or something that turned out to be, not what he thought it was, or not as fulfilling, he's come to the end of them, and this isn't for me. It can represent disappointment, disillusionment, something working out differently than you thought. It's just not for you, or something that's run its course. And he's made up his mind pretty definitively to turn his back on this and leave. He may not be entirely sure of the direction he's going into, because he's still surveying the horizon. But one thing that's definite, his back is turned to us. His back is turned to whatever this disappointment or disillusionment is. He's dressed for travel, hat on, cloak on, walking staff in hand. He's ready to go. He's just trying to figure out which direction to go in, but he's definitely leaving this behind. Leaving behind a sense of disappointment, disillusionment, betrayal for some of you. Again, some of you it may be what was done to you, and some of you it may be, maybe a betrayal that happened, that you betrayed somebody else. But there's definitely lessons learned on both sides from this, whatever side of the fence that you're on, and it's definitely time to leave this behind and have this new beginning, this beautiful new action-oriented new potential for, there's definitely potential for a new beginning, and definitely the very real promise of abundance if you're not already there. But you must leave behind this heartache, this betrayal. If there's some of you out there who are stuck in this, you definitely need to kind of move on through and away from that, regardless of what side of it you're on. Embrace the lesson and move on. So Cancer, that pretty much wraps up your May 2018 mid-month general reading. I hope you have enjoyed it, that it maybe brought some clarification and insight to you. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can get more information on my details by clicking on the description bar of all the videos I post, or you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on the little About button. Please feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you and schedule a reading with you as quickly as possible, live or recorded. And for fast answers to quick, easy questions, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. So Cancer, I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the June 2018 general readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.